Yellow, red, or white. Whatever their color, all flowers have the ability to express thousands of emotions. They bring with them beauty and harmony represented in their color, shine, and fragrance. Mini callas and sunflowers are no exception. Today, we'll learn about their production cycle and decorating options available with them.
We are at a farm that cultivates flowers for export and which specializes in mini callas and sunflowers. My name is Victoria Catalina Restrepo, and I'm the general manager of the plantation. I'm going to show you how we carry out the process of producing, selecting, and distributing both sunflowers and mini callas. We are now among the mini calla beds. Mini callas are the plants that we're seeing all around us right now. They're plants related to the calla lily, the one you know most commonly as native calla lilies, which are found everywhere. These mini callas were brought from New Zealand. We import them directly from New Zealand, where they are controlled genetically in a laboratory with many varieties that emerge in the native colors that we have here, like white and also yellow. Here on this farm, we have approximately 4 to 5 colors. We have orange, red, pink, cream with a black center, and yellow with a black center. These 5 colors are exported to different international markets, and we also sell them to international merchants that order them from us here in the Valley of St. Nicholas or in Bogotá. Here, we're going to talk a bit about production, about how the flowers are produced, and what their cycle is like. Their cycle lasts 6 months, approximately 24 to 28 weeks in the field. This cycle begins with planting of the bulb, which, as you'll see later on, is a tuber-like seed similar to a potato. When the seed has developed shoots, it is taken to the field and planted. We make a combination soil mix using 50% dark soil and 50% rice husks so that the soil remains very loose and the bulb is not stressed when watered. When irrigated, the water should trickle down and the bulb's roots should take in what they need for their nourishment. It is very important that they receive enough light. We are in an area where there is a very good illumination year-round. Obviously, there are times when the light is better than others, and that can be seen in the plant's development. The same goes for the drip irrigation system. Water is very important for plants and for us. And so we decided to switch from a traditional irrigation system that consists of a person watering plants with hoses to drip irrigation. As so it happens, drip irrigation is much more practical and does much to increase the plant's productivity. The flowers are of a higher quality. 80 to 85% of them can be exported to different countries, in comparison to sprinkler irrigation, which slightly lowers the flower's quality and requires much more manual labor.
The irrigation method used on this crop is the drip irrigation system, a method in which drops of water are supplied through hoses that run the length of the flower bed with openings along the top. Drip irrigation supplies frequent but small doses of humidity to the root of each plant.
The first weeks of the mini calla consist in the development of its foliage. And more or less, we have a time of some 4 to 6 weeks during which the flower's foliage develops completely. After the 6th week, sprouts or buds begin to show. During the 7th or 8th week, more or less, these buds begin to bloom, and we have a flowering window of roughly 2 months, depending on the plant variety. These are varieties that delay their production phase a bit, and others that produce a little bit earlier.
It's important that throughout the entire cycle of the mini calla, the growth is constantly monitored manually, and in this way, The beds are also kept free of weeds, and any dead leaves are removed to keep the soil free of residue.
There are 3 very important phases during which the most important elements or nutrients should be applied. These are phosphorus, nitrogen, and potassium. Phosphorus is the most important during the initial phase, nitrogen during the growth phase, and potassium during the flowering phase. During the first phase, approximately 36% phosphorus is applied, while during the growth phase, 20% nitrogen is used. And in the flowering phase, or when the plant is already producing, in order to make the flower's head much larger and more developed, 43% potassium is applied. These are the primary elements that are applied for fertilization. The flowering window, as I mentioned, lasts from 1.5 to 2 months. This is the period in which we harvest the flower. Harvesting the mini calla is very different from harvesting sunflowers, since for the sunflower, gardening shears are necessary to cut through the sunflower stalks. With the mini callas, we don't cut, but instead we lightly tug at the very base of the plant, pulling the stalk upwards to release the flower. This is the difference between the 2 varieties. Once the plant passes its flowering stage, which is more or less around the 6th month of its cycle, it begins to enter senescence. What is senescence? Aging. The plant ages, and its bulb or the root inside it begins to grow and to reproduce over a period of approximately 2 months. What we are talking about is that we are going to have the bulbs reproduce, and we'll harvest more seeds. Remove some large bulbs and others that are a bit smaller, and from those we'll obtain many more seeds that we planted originally in the flower bed.
When these bulbs are harvested, they are placed in baskets that have good ventilation, and these baskets are taken to a hibernation room where the bulbs will hibernate for approximately 2 to 3 months. After this period of time, the bulbs will sprout once again, which indicates that they are ready to be planted for another flowering cycle. Once the mini calla's total cycle is complete, the flower is transported to a monitoring room where first the tops and then the entire flower are shaken in order to detect whether they contain pests or diseases. They are then taken to be measured and sorted by size, so that as a final step, packages can be created and delivered to different clients. Once the post-harvest is finished, the mini callas are sent to different places, including florists who are tasked with giving significance to the flowers through different arrangements. Next, we will see how you can make a beautiful floral arrangement. The materials needed to create this floral arrangement are calla lilies, scissors, floral foam, crystal vase, leather leaf fern, linen cloth, photinia.
First, we create the base. We're using a crystal vase that holds water so the stem lasts longer because callas must be kept well hydrated. Now, we place the floral foam called oasis. If we keep the stem well hydrated every day with the base full of water, the stem will last us for a good long time period. In general, the calla is short, so we're going to create a round arrangement so it always maintains contact with the floral foam and can absorb water to stay well hydrated. We're going to arrange all sides so that the decoration can be used as a centerpiece on a table, in the office, or to adorn any space in the house. I like flowers. They come in many colors. They're beautiful, and every day they give people something new, something to brighten their homes that serves as a beautiful decor for the home or office. And that will fill all these places with much love, just as every day we put love into our work. Calla lilies are very pretty and appropriate for all occasions. The yellow ones signify hope. People often send them to And also because they have a beautiful color. For many people, it is because flowers actually symbolize something of great value for each person. Thus, we see that the yellow flowers are often sent for the birth of a child or to men. They're really used for many occasions, and people respect each other's taste in flowers since all of them are very pretty. We're going to place the flowers on all sides, and then we're going to add foliage to cover up the floral foam. This is called leather leaf fern. We'll cover up the floral foam so it can't be seen from any angle and the entire oasis is hidden. It's a nice complement to the calla lily. This is the linen cloth that we'll place here so that the stem is more visible, so that it looks nice, and no matter where it is, it can be observed and more easily seen. Since the calla lily is a delicate flower, certain steps must be taken to care for it. It should be kept in a cool place and should always have adequate water. It should be watered daily so that the flower lasts and you can have it as decoration in your house for a long time. Not just for 1 or 2 days, but for 3 or 4. We now add this type of foliage, which is a very nice way to highlight the stem so that it looks thicker. It's called photinia. In this way, we can make the arrangement prettier. We have some here, and we're going to place it on all sides so that it can be seen from any location, and it will still look the same, still pretty. As you can see, the arrangement is finished. Looks good from all sides. And it's ready to add to the decor in your house. As you can see, this is easy to create, requires little material, and it's a very practical ornament that takes up a little space and can brighten any space in your house.
The sunflower is an annual plant native to the American continent. The sunflower is now cultivated almost everywhere in the world, mainly in countries with a temperate climate. Its root can grow to 4 to 8 centimeters long. It possesses a single green stalk, and its leaves generally take the form of a heart and have a coarse texture.
The sunflower cycle is a process that takes 10 weeks before the flower can be harvested for export. We're going to give you a detailed account of this process.
The seed is planted directly into the flower bed. In a pre-planting process, the bed is prepared with organic compost and fertilizers, which makes it possible for the plant to take root correctly.
We have the seeds, and we plant these seeds in beds 36 square meters in size. 49 seeds are planted for each square meter in beds set up with a drip irrigation system and that have wire cages. They are planted one by one inside each square of the mesh. And about every 5 squares, they are planted 2 at a time from corner to corner to seed the area more densely. As we were saying previously, the next step is to give fertilizer to the seeds using the drip irrigation system. They are fertilized weekly with all of the primary and secondary elements required for physiological development of the plants. In our greenhouses, we utilize a system of tents, which is very effective for the plants, for the varieties that we grow. What are the benefits of having greenhouses? The greenhouses that we use here. The benefits include the ability to control humidity and also have more control over pests carried by the wind. The greenhouse system can block the wind during specific times, such as when there's a strong seasonal gale winds. An essential component of cultivating sunflowers is the wire mesh. The wire not only helps train the sunflower so that it can grow vertically each time the plant grows, but it also helps us at the time of planting to place each seed in its proper space, allowing us to sow the sunflowers in a straight line, achieving more order and organization, and allowing for greater density, which results in higher productivity.
Irrigation with fertilizer is very important during all the sunflower stages. All the nutrients the plant needs, like phosphorus, nitrogen, and potassium, are dissolved and added to the water tanks and administered through the hoses to the drip lines that carry them directly to each plant, ensuring a higher yield from the harvests.
Now, we'll discuss the manual upkeep we have to undertake with sunflowers, which is very important. Weeding, ensuring the entire bed is very well weeded, which is work that must be done on a weekly basis so that we can control pests, because undergrowth attracts more pests, trips, attract aphids and mites. Therefore, a thorough weeding each week allows us to control this. This labor helps diminish the need to apply so many chemicals to the plants. In harvesting the sunflower, it's very important to know the opening rates in order to know when to harvest. The sunflower is always harvested when the size of the sunflower is approximately 60 centimeters or more. Since we manage 3 different sizes, 60 centimeters high, 70 centimeters high, and 80 centimeters high. Why is that? It's so we can determine which type of sunflower we'll offer to our clients. We have petite sunflowers, medium-sized sunflowers, and extra-large sunflowers. There are different markets for each of these 3 types and different prices for our clients. We have 3 sunflower varieties that are produced here. The first is the sombrate, the second is the daphne, and the third is the Henri. Each sunflower variety has a different tonality. Some are a little brighter and others are more opaque. They are always the same color. Their petals are yellow with orange overtones, and their center is brown, dark brown. Once the sunflower's harvest stage is over, which basically includes cutting them and transporting them to the packing room, the post-harvest phase begins. This stage of post-harvest is very important because it's when we are able to detect if we have blight or not on each stalk that we're taking for export. After the flowers dry from being immersed, they are taken to the monitoring room where they are shaken in their entirety, including their petals and their heads, on a monitoring table that has a special lamp and a whiteboard, so that any signs of pestilence falling off the plants can be seen. Once 10 to 20% of the flowers have been inspected, they are taken to the measuring room. In the measuring room, the flowers are sorted by size, the shape of their heads, and the size of their stalks. They're organized in floral packets according to size, so that they can be taken to each specified client. A special mesh is placed around the sunflower to protect its petals. This is used for all of the sunflowers. We normally assemble packages of 5 to 10 stalks, depending on the needs and requests of our clients.
Flowers can be seen as a language that we should interpret. The sunflower possesses characteristics that represent friendship and admiration, which is why we will show you how to put together a simple floral arrangement that you can make at home and give to any loved one. The materials needed to make this arrangement are sunflowers, bamboo vase, floral foam, papyrus, carré leaves, leather leaf fern, decorative ribbons.
We're going to make another floral arrangement, this one from sunflowers. Our method remains the same, but this time we'll use a bamboo vase. This one doesn't require much water. The sunflower lasts longer than the calla lily. Here we have the sunflower. We're going to prop it up because the sunflower always tends to droop so that we can't always see its face. Therefore, we place this stick along the length of the stem. Now we're going to start working with the stem. We also have papyrus, which we're going to use to decorate. We're going to use it to complement the sunflower and make the arrangement more beautiful, so it has a nice look. We also use this arrangement for many occasions, to adorn the house, as a gift, for the birth of a child, for birthdays. It's very versatile. For example, if you're going to send it for the birth of a child, for the birth of a baby, you can give it a baby theme by adding a bow for newborns so it comes out really nice and represents the occasion for which the arrangement is made. If it's for a birthday, we can add some chocolates and a stuffed animal so that we end up with an arrangement that represents the occasion. As you can also see, we have a carry leaf, which we'll use in a moment to fill out the arrangement so that it comes out nice without leaving any gaps so that it's aesthetically pleasing. This is going to go only on one side. We're not going to wrap it all around like we did with the first one. So it's going to look completely different. Now we're going to use the carry leaf. We'll place it here to help the stalk stand out. The leaf's color goes well with the sunflowers and the bouquet comes out very pretty. To take care of sunflowers, we should keep them in a cool place and water them. Hydrate them so that they'll live longer. Sunflowers have a long vase life and can last up to 8 days when kept in a cool place with sufficient water. We're now adding leather leaf fern to cover up the arrangement's floral foam so that none of the leather fern can be seen. Now that we're going to make a bow to decorate the bouquet with these ribbons. All right, now we've finished the arrangement. You can see how it came out. Once finished and ready, it can be used to decorate your home, your office, anywhere you want to have a nice cozy space to place it.
When the pre-planting, planting, harvest, and post-harvest are done right, an excellent outcome for the mini Calla lilies and sunflowers is guaranteed. Upkeep in the field and fertilization allow the flower to develop correctly, so we end up with a quality product that can be used for different purposes, like the crafting of floral arrangements that brighten up spaces and bring joy to different occasions.
Diferentes ocasiones.